the militaristic country of Castellum, known for its wealth and might. The province of Mira, dedicated to the study of magic. The floating land of Solivia, the pinnacle of the church. The elven woods of Orcarnia, home to the dragon riders. The mining nation of Unteralia, where the mountains reach the sky. And the fallen kingdom of Aroace. These lands make up the magical world of Kamiya, a world where anything can happen. Cities can fly high in the sky. Mountains can become castles. But not all the magic is used for good. Darkness lurks around every corner of the world. This is a story about that darkness, and about the 9 individuals who come together to put a stop to the darkness. A story of love and loss, joy and sorrow, life and what it means to be mortal. This is the story of adventure. This is the story of Our story begins here, in the woods of Orcarnia. In a tavern in a small village sits an elf. She is sitting at a table by herself and can be seen chugging down drink after drink. She has green hair and an aura about her that reminds you of summer. A figure in a blue robe enters the bar and approaches her. "Welcome, stranger. How can I help you?" she asks. "You're Anno, correct? I need your help," the figure says. "What kind of help?" Anno asks. "I've heard tale of what you can do with a sword and bow. I'm putting together a team." Yeah, just spit it out already." "Have you heard of the Varexish incident?" "Of course I have. Politicians throughout the kingdom still talk about it to this day. Paladins are still working across the wall." "Correction. They are dying on the other side of the wall." Anno pauses for a minute. She motions to the bartender. "Hey, bartender. Got some life-changing stuff going on over here. Keep the drinks coming." We don't know why, but things have begun to stir over the wall. The powers responsible for destroying Varaxis and ending the era of peace we had 50 years ago have begun to move again. Castellum and Mira are concerned. I have been tasked with investigating the issue. I need a team to help me. Anno stands up and is face to face with the stranger. "Who are you?" she asks. The figure lowers their hood. They are a dragonborn kitsune cross with primarily white fur. His ears are more red with a golden pattern to them. He looks at Anno. "I am Amal. Now, will you join me?" Amal asks. A few days later, in a bar in Castellum, a human and a fallen Aasimar are sharing drinks. The human is huge with white hair that resembles a lion's mane. He isn't wearing any armor, and his constant boasting about his strength would bring your attention to his advanced musculature. The fallen Aasimar is wearing dull metal armor and an eye patch. He has a strange aura about him. It wouldn't be described as an aura of darkness, but a lack of light. Their table is covered in empty mugs. "Ha ha 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 ha!" The human lets out a loud laugh. The bartender and the rest of the patrons look annoyed. "Bartender, another round for me and my new friend," the human says. The bartender just looks at the human and walks over to clean off another table without saying a word. The human looks around the room real quick. In the corner, he spots a strange metal man. He gets up and walks over. Mistaking the automaton for some fancy suit of armor, he tries to remove their head and put it on as a helmet. The metal man's eyes open as he grabs the human's arms and pulls him off his head. "Get off me, you big oaf," the metal man states. "Whoa." The human turns to the bartender. "You have a strange suit of armor," he says. The bartender sighs before going back to serving other customers. The metal man pulls out a cigar and walks out of the bar, lighting it on his way out. He stands in front of the window and begins to smoke it. The human begins to walk back to the table when another bar patron walks into him. "Watch where you're going, you loud mouth," the patron says. "Whoa, take it easy. It's just an accident." "Oh, shut up. You've been annoying everyone all day. Why don't you just do what all the other humans did and disappear?" The human's expression changes. He has a stern look on his face. He places one hand on the other person's shoulder. He reels back with his other hand and punches the bar patron so hard he goes flying across the bar and slams into a table, breaking it. "Hey!" Two men shout as they jump up, ready to defend their friend. "All right, that's enough," the bartender says. "You've had enough. Why don't you head back home to that boyfriend of yours?" The human's face grows red. "He's not my boyfriend," he snaps. "Just leave." The human looks around a bit. He calms down, and as he does, he stumbles his way out of the bar. As he leaves, he looks back over and sees the metal man from before. "Sorry for trying to wear you," the human says. The metal man replies by bringing the cigar to his mouth and blowing a puff of smoke off to the side. "Weird piece of armor." Meanwhile, back at the bar, a Gitsarai gets up and begins to tend to the guy who was knocked out. He has blue skin and is wearing a simple cape and a monocle. One of his arms is made of wood, and he isn't wearing any metal on him, other than a shield he is carrying. "That guy really did a number on you with just one punch, didn't he?" he says as he mends to the unconscious patron's wounds. The fallen Asimar gets up from the table. He takes off his helmet, and without warning, throws it at one of the patrons who got up to support their friend's head. A few seconds of silence go by before a bar fight breaks out. The Gitsarai grabs the unconscious man and drags him away from the fray. The fallen Asimar is fighting off everyone else and winning. The bartender is trying to calm everyone down when she notices a paladin sitting alone. He is a dragonborn with black scales and polished metal armor. He has a red tattoo on his face and gives off an aura of order. Despite the fact that he is in the bar that serves a lot of heavy drinks, he only has a light ale. "Hey," the bartender says, "you're a paladin. Can't you do something?" The paladin lets out a sigh before reluctantly getting up and heading over to the fallen Asimar. He grabs him from behind and begins to drag him out of the bar. "What's the big idea?" the fallen Asimar asks. "You're the one who was starting bar fights for no reason," the paladin replies. "It wasn't for no reason. I was avenging my drinking buddy who I met 2 minutes ago." The paladin sits there in silence for a few seconds. "Your level of self-control will be your downfall." As the paladin drags the fallen Asimar out of the bar and lets him go, the human walks over and puts his arm around the fallen Asimar. "You didn't have to do that for me, buddy," he says. "Yeah, but I wanted to. By the way, what is your name?" the Asimar asks. "My name? Oh yeah, my name is..." Before he can finish, he's interrupted by another voice. Thorfeld? The voice exclaims. Everyone looks over. Standing a few feet in front of the bar is Amal. With him is some elf girl with autumn red hair. Amal? What are you doing here? Exclaims the human. Oh God, don't tell me you're the human I was told to find, Amal says. Hey, don't sound like that. And why were you looking for me? You know this guy? Asked the paladin. Yeah, he's an old friend of mine, Amal. Friend is a loose term. That's not very nice. What brings you here? And who is this with you? This is Anno, and she's helping me with an investigation. I came here to ask you the same thing, but now I'm having second thoughts. You said there was a fight. Do you know if anyone's hurt? Anno asks sheepishly. It's best not to ask. Luckily, the Gisarai guy was there to help that man. I'm going in to see if there's anything I can do to help. Anna walks into the bar. Inside, she can see several people with bruises around their eyes. One person is unconscious, and a Gisarai is tending to their wounds. She walks over to the Gisarai. Hey, my name's Anno. Anno asks. Hello, Anno. I'm Dalid, replies the Gisarai. Anno crouches down and begins to clean up all the broken table and glasses on the floor. So, do you always just wander into bars and help someone? Yes. Not all the time, but... Anno says as she cleans up the glass. So what brings you here in the first place? Oh, we're doing this thing. I see. That makes sense. No, it's... This guy is wanting me to help him save the world, kind of. Well, that sounds cool. Not like some kind of world-saving adventure, just like an investigation. We're here to get some human. That must be the guy who did this. I saw him outside. If he gave this to a guy, then he must be strong. So, how does one go and get to join this group? I don't know. Maybe ask Amal? Oh, Amal is the guy who hired us. Well, alright. This guy is stable. He should wake up and want a hell of a headache, but he'll be safe. That's good. We're done cleaning up anyway. Is there anything else to do? Or should we just leave? Sure. I was about to leave anyway. The two walk out of the bar, back to the rest of the group. Come on, Amal. You know I won't be a liability, Thorfeld says. Amal has his fingers on the bridge of his nose. Why do I doubt that? He says. I can vouch for my drinking buddy, the fallen Asimar says. The paladin looks over at him. You started a bar fight with the honor of someone you just met. I doubt your word means anything, he says. I'm just that kind of a person, I guess. Sorry to interrupt them all, but this guy here could be a good addition to the party. Anno interjects. Oh, who might you be? I am Dalid. The stars guided me to this bar here. I thought it might be to help save someone's life. Guess it might have been to meet you. Dalid introduces himself. It's a pleasure to meet you, Dalid. If you're willing to help, it would be appreciated. Do you know what you'll be doing? A little bit. Arno mentioned something about something happening to Varaxis. At the mention of Varaxis, the metal man who is trying to enjoy his cigar in peace begins to make a strange noise from his body for a few seconds. He's no longer trying to ignore everyone and looks to be paying close attention to the group. Yes, the three responsible for Varaxis' current state have been showing some activity recently. I'm investigating them, or more specifically, their cults, to see if I can find anything out about what they're planning. I see. And that's why you're putting together a team to help you investigate? Precisely. Aw, come on, Amal. Punching cultists sounds so much fun. You have to let me join now. If it will get you to stop begging, then fine. We could use some more muscle anyway. All right! I'll join. My fellow paladins are dying across the wall. If we can find out why and stop it, then I want to be a part of that. Sounds good. What's your name? Wait up, sir. I'm joining too. Absolutely not. I don't even know who you are, but I can tell that you would probably cause the fall of another kingdom just to see what would happen. Hey, I'm not some chaos fanatic. And besides, I have business with one of the big three. And just so you know, you're not the only paladin in the area. You're joking. What god would let you have power? Having one paladin would be good. Having two would be great. Don't cause any problems, and you can join. What's your name? Joaquin. Sounds good. Anyone else here want to help? A few seconds of silence go by before the metal man speaks up. Sure, I got nothing better to do, he says. Really? You want to join because you have nothing better to do? Not if you're going to keep asking questions. Sure, he says out loud. He begins to think to himself. He only paid attention when Varaxis was mentioned. Could he know something? Cool. My name is Adnik, by the way. People name their talking armor. Can I slap him? Alright. Looks like we got ourselves a team. If we leave now, we will make it back by sunset. Back to where? You'll see. Let's go. They all head off and begin moving north along the river. As they move, Amal begins to answer some of the questions the group has. So, you were hired by who to investigate this? Joaquin asks. The governments of Castellum and Mira, Amal answers. Do we have any leads as to where to begin? Weedeb asks. If we did, Castellum would not have asked for my help. They would have just thrown their army at the problem until it was fixed. Anno mentioned that you have one more person helping already. Who are they? Dalid asks. Oh, yeah. You'll meet him soon enough. I have a feeling he'll be a powerful asset to our investigation. I wonder how big his muscles are. We should arm wrestle when we meet. But, with more than just our arms. Our entire bodies! Thorfinn exclaims. You mean regular wrestle? Adnik asks. Yeah, that! A loud roar interrupts the group. It is coming from right in front of them. Everyone begins to draw their weapons, crack their knuckles, or ready their spells. A large dragon emerges from over the tree line and lands down in front of the group. The dragon has primarily white scales, with some parts that are light blue, transitioning into dark blue as they move further away from the white. Its wings are the darkest blue of them all, with some purple scattered in them. It looks at the party. Anno draws her bow and fires off a volley of arrows. A few dink off the dragon's scales, but one burrows deep into its flesh. It yells out in pain as Thorfinn rushes in and hits it with a series of punches, each one sending stronger shockwaves throughout the dragon's body than the last. The dragon steadies itself. A crossbow bolt comes flying past its head from behind. It and the party look over to see two people rush from the tree lines. One of them is another fallen Aasimar. He has an eye patch and a broken horn. His armor isn't as big as Juan's, but it is decorated with colors and symbols of a deity. The other person is smaller than the fallen Aasimar, only standing 4 feet tall. They look like a plaster mannequin come to life, and are wielding a massive axe. The two rush in and begin attacking the dragon. The mannequin swings at it a few times with its axe, making a few cuts across its body. The fallen Aasimar's hand crackles with energy, and he touches the dragon. The energy flows into the body, and the dragon screams out in pain. The dragon begins to pant. It inhales a massive amount of air and opens its maw. It exhales quickly, and a cloud of light that looks like a cosmic nebula filled with stars flows outward and surrounds the group that isn't right next to the dragon. Anno jumps in front of Joaquin and takes the hit for him as she falls unconscious. Damn. Looks like you could use some help, Amal says. Alright, time to wake up, little guy. Amal reaches into his cloak and pulls out a small humanoid. The humanoid has a simple dark cloak around his body and a pointy red hat on his head. Huh? What's happening? Is it morning already, Amal? The small humanoid asks. Who is this guy? Thorfinn asks. Oh, hello. I'm Cobbly the Gnome. It's a pleasure to meet you. Oh my gosh, what the heck happened? Cobbly jumps out of Amal's hand and rushes over to Anno. He places one hand on Anno and the other on his amulet he is wearing around his neck. Green energy flows into Anno as her wounds close up and heal. She opens her eyes again. Huh? Anno says as she wakes up. Hello. I'm Cobbly the Gnome. Want to be friends? Cobbly asks. Hello. It's a pleasure to... Anna starts to shake as her eyes grow wide. Get down! She grabs Cobbly and rolls to the side as a blast of starlight explodes where they just were. You need to watch yourself, little guy. Oh gosh, that was close. Anno readies another arrow as Joaquin rushes in and strikes with his sword. As he does, Wadap takes some time to heal themselves up. Adnik rushes in behind Joaquin, and with one punch, he knocks the dragon back a few feet. Dalad's cloak begins to change. It flows as if it was blowing through the wind, and it changes to a cosmic pattern, with the stars darting through the night sky. His eyes begin to glow, and he fires a blast at the dragon. The dragon reels back in pain. As it does, Aino lets loose her arrow and sends it flying. The arrow enters the dragon's mouth and pierces the back of its neck from its throat. It falls to the ground, and as it hits its body, it falls apart into stardust. Oh gosh, that was a close one. Is everyone alright? Cobbly asks. Ha ha ha! I haven't had a fight like that in a while, Thorfinn boasts as he walks out of a cloud of stardust completely covered in sparkles. And who might you be? Are you the person Amal mentioned? The one he already gathered? Oh, yes. Cobley is Amal's friend. He's helping Amal. Perfect. Wanna fight? Thorfinn takes a battle stance. Eek! Cobley runs behind Amal. He pokes his head out from behind Amal's cloak. Is something wrong? Cobley is a pacifist. He doesn't fight. But don't let that fool you. He's a powerful cleric, wielding support and healing spells. Amal says. Thorfinn relaxes and leaves his stance. Oh, I'm sorry. Cobley, was it? Would you like to be friends? Really? You want to be friends with Cobley? Cobley's eyes light up at the request of friendship. Yeah. Yes! Cobley would like to be friends with Thorfinn! Cobley begins to dance around excitedly. Friends, 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 friends! Everybody looks at Cobley, and then at each other. Amal walks over to the two people who helped them take down the dragon. Thanks for the assistance. Who might you two be? He asks. I'm Rook, the fallen Aasimar says. It's a pleasure to meet you, Rook. And what about you? The mannequin looks at Amal. They sheath their axe and begin to sign to Amal. Marina, they sign. It's a pleasure to meet you too, Marina. What brings you two all the way out here? I was training when the dragon flew over. Why practice on a tree when I can fight that? I thought to myself. I see. And you, Rena? Marina begins to sign. Dragon. Big. Fight. Amal looks back at Rook. Do you know what she means? Nope. She just showed up out of nowhere, and I was chasing the dragon. Might have been chasing it before I was. I see. You two look like capable fighters. Would you like to help us in our investigation? We still have enough funding for 2 more people. I don't know. Might get in the way of my training. I see. Unfortunate, but hey. We already have a strong team. Thank you for helping us with the dragon. Amal gives a small bow to the two. He begins to walk to the rest of the group when a voice pipes up. Wow. You all handle that better than I thought you would, the voice says. Another fallen Aasimar walks out from behind a rock. He has black hair with blue streaks that cover up one of his eyes. He has 2 wings resembling more of a dragon than an angel. The inner membrane is white with a fire design upon them. Upon seeing the new person, Amal tenses up. Who are you? Anno asks. That's not important. What is how you're all going to survive. You see, that dragon was just the begin. As the stranger's talking, Dalit interrupts. Anyone injured? I've got magic berries here, he asks the party. He starts handing them out. I need a few, one person says. I could use some more, another person pipes up. The stranger looks slightly frustrated. He holds out his hand and summons a snowstorm to pelt the party. A few seconds pass and he stops the spell. I don't like being ignored, the stranger says. Marina falls to one knee. They had taken the most injuries. Cobley walks up and heals them. He then walks up to the stranger. Hello. I'm Cobley the gnome. What you just did was mean. If you try being nicer, people would want to be your friend, he says. The stranger looks down at Cobley. You think so, he says. What's your name? Cobley would like to be friends with you. He holds out his hand to the stranger. Well, Cobbly, my name is Orion. Orion reaches for Cobbly's hand. Cobbly, get away from him, Amal shouts. Eek! Cobbly jumps back. Ha ha ha. Now why'd you have to go and ruin all my fun, Amal? What do you even want? Amal is on the edge as he talks. I just came all this way to see who Castellum sent to try and stop me. And so far, I'm not impressed. I am surprised to see so many fallen Asimars, however. Didn't think there were more of us left. Of course there are. And we're a lot more powerful than you. Take Cinders, for example, Rook says. Cinders, huh? I'll have to meet him then. I should not have said that. Adnik begins to march towards Orion with his fist clenched. Waydab tackles him to the ground to prevent him from doing something stupid. Who is Cinders? What do you plan to do when you meet him? Adnik demands. Thorfinn and Joaquin try to calm him down. He looks like he's panicking. His eyes are darting around his head. Joaquin looks back at Orion. I don't know what you're planning, but whatever it is, I will stop you, he says. Oh, you promise? I promise. Is this anything like the promise you made to one of the banished, perhaps? He asks with a smug look on his face. Joaquin grits his teeth. Well, I guess I'll leave you all to struggle. It'll be fun to watch. Orion disappears in a cloud of stardust. Amal lets out a sigh. Thank the gods. We should keep moving. Hopefully he doesn't decide to come back. Amal says. Hold on. Rook interjects. What is it? Will your investigation lead to fighting Orion? It seems so. Why? Rook turns to look at Amal. Then count me in. Marina signs to Amal. Me murder him later. I join too. All right. Welcome to the group. Let's make our way back to the base and set up. Amal continues to lead the group through the forest till they reach a small town when the sun begins to set. They walk into a building, a small inn, and enter. Here we are, Amal says. The White Rose. This is where we'll be staying? Anno asks. She looks around. Yes. Don't let it fool you. It's a rather nice place. Amal, you're back already, a voice says. The party looks over to see what appears to be a dog walking down the stairs. He has dark fur and scars all over his body. Yes, Fenrir. I found a group that will help us. Is that dog speaking? Thorfinn asks. I'm not a dog, I'm a wolf. Call me a dog and I will bite you, Fenrir snaps. Fenrir is the shifter, and the guard dog here. I am not a dog. Joaquin feels something rub up against his legs. What the? He says as he jumps back. At his feet, rubbing up against his leg, is a black blind cat with dragon wings. Oh, it seems you've met Soot, a voice says from behind the counter. A Hadozi jumps out from behind the counter. She has dark orange-red fur. Greetings. I am Madame Hotaru, the owner of the White Rose. Thanks again, Madame Hotaru, for hosting us. I'll make sure you get paid well for it. Well, thank you, Amal. You are too kind. So is everyone Castellum recommended? Yes. And a few others I found. Welcome, everyone. We have plenty of rooms, as well as food and drinks we serve. If you need something, please don't hesitate to ask. The group settles down in their own rooms. Some people spend more time getting to know each other, and others go straight to bed. The next morning, Anna walks out of her room. Her hair is white now, and her disposition has changed to be a bit more distant. In her hand, she is carrying an envelope. She walks down the stairs to the main lobby. Greetings, Madam Hotaru. Do you know if there is a post office in town? We need to send a letter to our sister, she asks. Oh, yeah. We have one in the center of town, Madam Hotaru says as she is pouring a cup of tea. If you're heading out, could you be a lamb and take Fenrir for his walk? Fenrir walks up behind Anno and sits down. Sure thing. The company would be nice. She and Fenrir leave the White Rose. As they head towards the post office, they begin to talk. So, Fenrir, you're a guard dog. I'm not a dog, I'm a wolf. But, yes, I'm the guard of the White Rose. Or, at least, on paper, Fenrir answers. What do you mean? I'm a shifter. We don't have the same rights as other races like you. That's horrible. Yeah, but things are changing. Slowly and surely. Just a few years ago, we were bred for fighting rings. Places like Unteralia have begun making changes. You were a part of a fighting ring? Yep, the Elgato fighting ring to be specific. The Elgato ring? The biggest underground gambling ring in all of Kamiya? Yep, that one. It always stays under the radar, always moving and bribing officials. Madame Hotaru was the one who saved me from there. You don't say. Yep. We're here. The two stop outside the town's post office. Anno begins to walk inside. You coming? I can't. Shifters aren't allowed inside. Fenrir says while scratching the back of his ear. That's not right. Yeah, but what can you do about it? Still, we're not one just to stand aside when we see racism. It's fine. Just mail off your letter and let's get going. Anna reluctantly heads inside. She hands her letter to the postmaster and lets him know where to mail it to. As he's mailing it off, the newspaper being sold catches her eye. The front page is a photo of a Kenku. He's lying on the ground, dead. It's a damn shame, the postmaster says as he walks back. He was apparently one of those non-religious types. Their bodies have been piling up around here, in the river, for the past few months. No one knows who was responsible. You don't say, Anno asks. Yep. You can have the paper for 1 silver piece. Do you have change for gold? Of course. Anna walks back to Fenrir. You ready? Fenrir says, standing back up. Yes, Anna says. The two walk back to the White Rose.